Well, hello, and welcome to, yet another tutorial. Third tutorial in a row out of 3. I promise the next video it's not going to be just showing something that we have built before, but we are going to complete the tutorial for the boom house, and with actually the 2 interesting farms that we got out of that, which are the nether mushroom and the nether wood farm. So, let's jump right into it. So the approach to this farm was to have 2 different platforms, one for warp nylium, one for crimson nylium, having flying machines that were going to, we were going to get all of the goodies thanks to bone mealing from the bottom using dispensers, and then flying machines coming across and sweeping everything. And all of the goodies were going to fall on water streams that would take them to our storage system. We're going to start with the flying machines, and they're going to be carrying some glass to make sure that we don't get any problems out of it. So starting with this, then 4 slime blocks over here, 1 sticky piston facing into a slime block, and another sticky piston facing the other way. We put it like this because underneath that slime, that slime is going to be the one carrying this piece of glass. And finally, just having 1 observer facing one way, 1 observer facing the other. And this would, making sure that the signal is going into this sticky piston over here. To make sure that these don't fly away, we're going to place some furnaces over here. And to make sure that it doesn't fly the other way, we're going to place some furnaces on the other side. So now, every single time that we get a glass over here, they fly away. They reach the other side. We're going to need to give it just 1 more block to make sure that all of the goodies fall in the, fall in our water stream. But, that is going to be the flying machine that we need. And the next thing that we are going to need is to send a signal to, every single time that it reaches one of the ends, we want it to get back. So to do that, guess it, we're going to use our usual observer system, and it's going to work almost exactly the same as the one that we showed in the previous tutorial. Having 1 of these, one of these 4. We need a redstone torch. That is going to be observed by this observer, concrete, and a sticky piston. That is going to be facing downwards. Sticky piston facing downwards. Redstone dust, repeater set to 1 tick. And this system needs to actually activate any piston that we can get. That is going to actually activate that observer from this side. So to connect this over here, we're going to get our signal from here. So every time that we get, let's put 1 block just to make sure that we don't get it, but every time that this block gets powered, this one should be powered as well. So let's give it a shot to see if it actually works. And perfect. And we're going to get the same system on the other side, only we're going to change it just a bit because we're going to be detecting this one over here. Don't worry, the furnaces are still blocking all of the movement from the flying machine, but then again, same system as we had before with our repeaters, 1 to 1 tick, 1 to 4 ticks, observer, concrete, then sticky piston coming downwards, redstone dust, and yet another repeater. And when it reaches this point, we're going to have our piston over here. So then again, we get our signal from powering that block over there. And with that, we should have the whole system ready. So let's give it a try. Wait, I have to place this over here. And if we press this button, it flies one way, reaches one end, gets sent the other way, And when it reaches this one, yep, it sends it the other way. So you might have seen that I broke this block. And actually this block over here is the one where, well, by removing that block, we can keep our system over here. But maybe instead of removing it, if you just place, well, yeah, if you just power this block, say, with a lever, then the signal cannot be transmitted and you're going to get the system completely stopped. And at the same time, you can place one button, to actually kickstart the whole system. It's completely up to you where do you put these, but you're going to, well, for stopping the machine, you're going to need to flick this lever, and to kickstart it, you will need to press that button. So this is the actual, well, not, this would be the collection system, but we need to actually activate this, because as we said, if we bone meal this, we're going to get a ton of stuff, and once we send our flying machine, everything gets broken and pushed into the water stream. So you will get all of the goodies that you want. Well, all of the goodies that you want, all of the goodies that you actually don't want. I strongly recommend you compost those, because that is going to give you a little bit more bone meal. But the way that, but we are going to check how do we get the bone meal in these places in an automatic way. So the system that we are going to use is going to be based on dispensers. So if we get a dispenser facing upwards over here, and another one over here, and we fill them with bone meal, we're going to be able to, well, get the same effect. The only, well, the difference that we are going to make is when do we activate these, and to do that, we're actually going to get the signal from, our, from the flying machines themselves. So if we come this way, we can get from, again, this point over here, we come down, making our staircase, and when it reaches this place, we can get ourselves our repeater and cover everything with redstone dust. So every time that we get a signal, we will activate the dispenser. At the same time, we're going to want sort of the same circuit coming this way, but yeah, we're going to mirror it. It's pretty important to put those repeaters over there to make sure that we don't lose the signal. And then again, coming this way, we're going to get the rest of the signal itself. So, some dust, and that kind of does it. Let's fill it up with bone meal, and we'll see how it actually works. So now that we have all of the bone meal, we set the flying machine, and there it goes. Now when it reaches the other end, again we get all of the goodies, all of them in the water streams and being collected. So once you have this, you might want to, well, either come and fill these up manually, or the other thing that you could do would be getting a system to get all of bone meal down here. And the system that we used in the boom house was dropper elevators. So if we get our droppers and we put them, we would like them to face into the dispenser. Nope. Put them facing into the dispenser. If we fill up these droppers and we are able to send, we would be able to send all of the bone meal above and into the dispenser itself. So to get our dropper elevators, this is designed by Kmond, but we're going to get our comparator getting out of the dropper, then one redstone dust, repeater, another redstone dust coming around, and we're going to be getting an observer down here, another observer facing into it, facing downwards, and making sure that you don't break that line. We're going to get the the observers to send the signals into the droppers and actually the dispenser itself. If we make the same system on this side, on the mirrored, we are going to get both redstone, both dropper elevators completely ready. And finally, to fill up those, to fill up the droppers, we can always get hoppers into those. Get some concrete and get some rails, and we can distribute bone meal in these two through a chest. Yeah, let's say over here. So we would place a chest, and we would have our rail line over here. 2, 3, 4 regular rails. For the rest, we need to make sure that we don't power the rails anywhere close to the droppers, because that might mean that the hoppers, because that might mean that they don't pick up the items themselves. But redstone torch at the very end, redstone torch at the very end, and a hopper minecart that is going to be moving around all the time. Right, so before we call this thing done, well, first, get a good collection system, and as we said, try to compost everything that you're actually not going to use, and get rid of the, just make sure that you're not powering the dispenser as well, or you might, end up getting a ton of stuff that you're not actually going to collect over there. But that actually does it for our nether mushroom and nether grass farm. And now for the bit you're really here for, because when I checked the nether shroom farming in the wiki, the only entry was, why would you do that? Right, so for our nether wood farm, we're going to use a couple dispensers. Yes, you're going to need a ton of bone meal for running that one over there and this one as well. And we're going to get hoppers like this and a chest to get all of the bone meal into this dispenser. Then we're going to be detecting, rather than the one at the bottom, we're going to be detecting the second one, because if we detect that one over there, every single time that we place a mushroom, it would fire the whole system. So concrete block, same circuit as we did in our concrete, same circuit as we have been doing last times. We're going to get our redstone torch, then again observing the redstone torch, and a sticky piston to be able to remove this signal. Again, one repeater over here, redstone dust, and redstone dust. So the plan is going to be to place our mushroom over here, dispense all of the bone meal for it to grow. And the good thing about nether trees is that they are going to grow no matter what we put around it. So in the end, just by switching this warped nylium for crimson nylium, we're going to be able to use the farm, and it's going to give a really weird mess of different types of the big blue or red blocks. I actually don't remember how they're called. So from this we can go, let's say 7 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and on the 8th one we're going to put some obsidian just to mark where the height that our tree is going to grow to be. Then from this side we're going to be pushing our tree with the help of these pistons, and we're going to be doing something similar to the bit that we did before, knowing that our redstone torch is going to power this piston and the one below. We just get all of we get this tower over here with the redstone torches to power all of those, and the plan is going to be to unpower this thanks to it's going to be unpowering this thanks to these repeaters and a redstone torch that is going to go down there. So redstone torch and redstone dust. Then we're going to send the signal upwards with some slabs. Let's get these couple ones. Yep, so we're going to send the signal upwards with these slabs over here. And redstone dust all over the place. Yeah, now the plan is when this observer detects something, it's going to send the signal over here to push everything to that side. So we're going to get our signal from the bottom to get the redstone dust, and the only thing that we need to do is to send it all the way down to this to this torch and our repeater. And before we actually start running this, we're going to set all of these repeaters to 2 ticks just to make sure that nothing weird happens. So to run this farm, the only thing that we have left is how are we going to set this dispenser on. And to do that, we're going to get ourselves a couple of observers, and we're going to get ourselves an observer clock. These can get a little bit obnoxious, but it's the best that we can do. Then coming to the other side, we're going to get a sticky piston, and it's completely up to you which one of these you decide to remove, but to get this farm turned on and off, we're going to get this lever that when we can remove the observers. So at this point we should be ready to get our bone meal and fill this chest with bone meal entirely. Right, and now that we have all of it ready, I added a couple things that need to be mentioned. And that is, the trees are going to grow, and it's going to be a little bit wild. Like all of the blue and red blocks, whose names I cannot remember, they're going to be everywhere. So I'm going to strongly recommend getting slabs on top of everything, just to make sure that nothing breaks. Because, for example, this chest, if something grows on top of it, you're not going to be able to open it. If something grows in this block in particular, then the signal is not going to be transmitted. So at this point, we can turn on the duper, and the TNT starts falling. We can turn on our farm, and we get our crimson fungus. While we are running this, there's going to be something that we need to be aware of, and it's, besides that really annoying block, it's going to be the fact that something could grow in here. And we need to be, sort of careful with that. And to show that it actually works, we can do exactly the same thing with our warped fungus, and it is going to work all the same. We only need to be careful, as we said, with everything that is going to grow, a little bit careful with the TNT, and it's, you can see that it definitely works. So let's turn everything off and go to the final remarks. Right, so I turned it off. So a couple of things before we actually call this a day. The first thing is, thank you for watching. And the second one, is, you can see that this definitely works. It works for both types of nether wood, but you're definitely going to need a ton of bone meal for both this and the farm that we have over there. The other recommendation is going to be, just don't put this like 6 blocks away from the explosion. It's going to, if it's this close, it might be the case that something weird happens and, the explosion radius just breaks something that you don't want. On the other hand, you might notice that, that this is just at ground level. I would strongly recommend getting this hole a little bit deeper, just to make sure that the explosions don't actually break all of the blocks that you want to get. And, I think that's it. No, it wasn't it. So, to avoid just going upstairs every single time, I'm going to recommend a video by Rico Peria. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but I'm going to leave his, the link to his video in the description, because it basically explains many different ways to actually get a signal upwards and to make easier for all of these to actually run. So that is actually going to do it for the tutorial and for everything that we do have in the boom house. Well, everything that I designed. Remember, the whole TNT duper, well, not my face, the TNT duper was designed by Ilmango. See the link in the description as well. But that is going to be all for this tutorial. Tell me how it works for you. Leave comments, likes, or dislikes if actually it doesn't work for you. That is also feedback. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!